Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
All right, today really is Friday. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is the Friday free-for-all on Friday. No more giving me shit. I've eaten enough of it. I'm full. And it has hit the fan, folks. It truly has. I pray, hope, wish, desire for you to be fully prepared with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and, of course, everybody's favorite precious metals, copper, lead, and cold blue steel. You guys are the best. I want to thank you all for the great support. We're going to do our Friday free-for-all hour right now. Get your questions down below, pretty please. Man is in the house. He's going to make sure I know what day it is, what time of the day it is, what day of the week it is, and what time of the SHTF it is. He's got me right here, you guys. He'll keep me in line. But get your questions down below. We're going to go back and forth. We'll do the shotgun just like we did on the special Thursday edition of the Friday Free-for-All. And I'm going to start it off with this. Get this shit. Now, the reason I bring all this stuff up, folks, is because the media lies, the government lies, bureaucracies lie, Wall Street lies. They're all fucking liars. You, on the other hand, are not allowed to lie. If you lie to a business or the government or a bank, you go to prison. And if you lie on media, social media, you get censored, silenced, punished, dead. So get this shit. Just a gentle reminder. First, the mainstream media, denied Kamala was, and first they denied it, and now they claim that she is the border czar, folks. That's right. Kamala Harris is once again the border czar, according to MSNBC host Simone Saunders. Yeah. After they lied, denied, and gaslighted you and the whole world, right? Just remember, folks, you are the best arbiter, researcher, thinker for the truth in your head. Don't trust me. Don't trust man. Trust yourself. Take the information in. Weigh it against the other information available. What makes the most sense to you according to how you see the world? That is who you should be listening to. You. Get your information from me, your thoughts from me, an opinion from me, fine. But listen to yourself, folks. Fuck the mainstream media asswipes. They will lie to you, and then they will continue to lie to you, and then lie to you some more. Truly, folks. Hey, when I get it wrong, I'll apologize, right? I tried doing Friday Free-for-All yesterday. Whoops. Hey, even I make mistakes. All right. Now, speaking of liars, the lying sack of horse spunk, Tim Walz, that's right, Twinkle Toes Timmy, is back under the microscope because he allegedly, well, it's right there on film, it's right there on video, it's right there on camera. He yanked his special needs son up on the stage at the Democrat National Convention. Yanked him up there, folks. Now, Twinkle Toes Timmy, he's trying to appeal to all the Democrats. See, I'm fatherly, right? Yanks his kid like he's a dog on a leash. Just wrong. This guy, right? And look, folks, despite Twinkle Toes Timmy's wife clearly stating that his campaign bullshit about in vitro fertilization, it was never part of their process, right? Tampon Tim Walz is continuing to perpetrate his lies and bullshit, and he did it during his acceptance speech. Walz, that's right, Twinkle Toes Timmy, is a serial liar. In the image of the Biden liars and the Clinton liars and the Obama liars, he is a criminal, stolen valor felon, and he needs to be prosecuted. Now, once again, if you or I lie, we can be canceled, silenced, censored, fined, sanctioned, or thrown in fucking jail until they decide to prosecute us. These people lie all day. They lie for a living. Crazy business, folks. Crazy business. We'll talk more about lying and the penalty and what's going on out in the world. But right now, let's do this. Let's get to you guys. There's a lot happening today, but you can talk about anything that happened this week or anything you predict that is coming in the following weeks and months. It has hit the fan. I hope you are prepared. Mr. Ooman, where shall we roll off the start? And we've got the Charlanator. She can say, says this: I can claim that I don't support a party that supports having mobile abortion clinics at their events. I can make that claim too. I join you, Charlanator. I won't support a party or a candidate or anybody that thinks that abortion is the solution to the problem. Now, what is the problem? The problem is not a pregnant woman or girl. The problem is not a rapist. The problem is not the baby. The problem is irresponsible and stupid behavior. That's the problem. The solution isn't to punish an unborn baby. That is how you sidestep accountability, responsibility, and adult, mature, responsible moral behavior. And I can even tell you, and I speak from experience, having interviewed many women who have been raped. And I know this is going to piss some people off, but please hear me out. I have interviewed many women who have been raped. And in almost all circumstances, the women have put themselves in an unenviable position. They made a mistake. And the rape followed. It's terrible. It's awful. It's not excusable, the rape. Just like these freaking jihadis. Well, I found a woman and my religion says it's fine. No, it's not fine. We all need to understand that we need to be very careful with who we're around, where we're at, who the potentials are, period. Because it's more than just rape. It's robbery, assault, murder, home invasion. We need to become more aware, all of us, especially with 20 million undocumented, illegal, criminal invaders that are now in this country. Because whether they're jihadis or just Central and South Americans, they think that they can get away with everything. If they can do it, they can get away with it. That's what they're thinking. I don't support any of these fucking people that want abortion clinics at their events or abortion clinics in their states, or they think abortion is the solution to their problems. It's not. In fact, I keep hearing this argument. Well, if the mother's in medical trouble and her life depends on it, I get that story. But I've also read numerous accounts of Democrat nurses and Democrat doctors bragging on social media that they're lying to their patients. They will lie to them and tell them they have a serious medical emergency and it requires abortion to save their life. They're lying to their patients. Clearly a crime. Oh, wait, they can get away with it? Doctors can lie? Oh, man, doctors can lie? I had no fucking idea. Nope. I guess they can lie. In fact, speaking of great lies, thank you, Charlanator. Speaking of great lies, the pharmaceutical companies are back with a new and improved Jim Jones juice. It's new. It's improved. It'll still fucking kill you. And the public isn't like lining up to get it. I don't know why. Why don't people like me and you want it? Well, we've had enough. I've seen enough. I've heard enough. And people who have already had the Jim Jones juice, they're probably not feeling so good. They're like doing a fucking Chris Farley, heart attack, right? Not feeling good. It's called vaccine regret. They're like, ooh, that's not feeling very good. I may have made a mistake. Yeah, you fucking think so? You think so? Fuck. Folks, you can't trust anyone. Now, Right? I've had to talk to physicians lately. I'm gonna tell you one little story. This was not my physician. So I told you last week I had some trouble. A dear friend, family member, loved one, however you want to refer to them, or all the above, whatever you want to call it, had some issues. Went into the hospital, had some tests run. A physician's assistant, which is kind of like a doctor light, comes in and says, "I like to give a worst case scenario." I'm like, "Why the fuck would you do that?" And so she continues and says, "You might have cancer." I'm like, "How the fuck can you say that? You have this much information and you need this much information." Looking at one x-ray, they're like, "Yeah, you might have cancer. I like to give the worst case scenario so that anything else that's said after that, you'll feel better about." I'm like, that is the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard. I did meet, out of the dozen doctors that were involved, a good physician in there. It's crazy, folks. It's hit the fan. They want to scare you. They want to medicate you. They want to fucking kill you, I guess. Good God. Well, here we are, folks. Here we are. They're all liars out there. You can only trust yourself. How does the saying go? Man, we got a saying here. How's the saying go?
How does what saying go? Give me a hint.
Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. Is that the correct one?
That is the correct one.
Okay, thank you.
I thought you might be going down the lies, damn lies, and statistics angle.
That wouldn't have been bad either. Lies, more damn lies, and yeah. You can trust statistics 94% of the time, even though they laugh, 20%. I can't remember how that one goes. How's that one go?
You can trust statistics more if you say 93.8% instead of 94%.
Yeah, putting the decimal point in there gives it extra credibility.
Absolutely.
And then we can do another logical fallacy, and we can appeal to authority and say, well, 9 out of 10 doctors say don't believe doctors. All right. Doctors say don't trust doctors. You're like, wait, but okay. Very good. Let us continue, Mr. Uman. Thank you, dude.
Okay. Speaking of lies, Mikey G's got a good one.
All right, let's see it. Mikey G said job numbers were overestimated by 1 million jobs. Yes, indeed. Can you believe it? Bureaucrats working for the government produced false numbers for that's right, Joe Biden, Camel Toes Harris administration to make their job numbers, their economic conditions good. Well, they revised them. The most that any number from the government with respect to employment has been revised since Obama was president 15 years ago. In other words, they're incredible lies. So then, and I think we've discussed this at times. So the BLS, that's the Bureau of Labor Statistics, AKA the BS. They put out their numbers. Whoop, employment's up. Everything's great. And then a few weeks later, they revised them. Well, we got some more information and stuff, and so now they're accurate. Why not just wait till you have all the accurate information and then release it? Well, you see, if they do that, they won't have the opportunity to lie. So yes, Build Back Better hasn't given anyone a boner. No good at all, Mr. Mikey. Anyways, Semper Fi to you, man. I hope all is well. Stay prepared, stay armed, stay alert. Head on a swivel, folks. Always stay alert. Whether you're assaulted, robbed, raped, run down, it doesn't matter. Be prepared. Have self-defense. If you can't carry a gun, if you won't carry a gun, carry something. Fucking bear spray, a can of fucking wasp spray, a can of jalapeno pepper, spray it in the, someone attacks you, spray them, fuck them, protect yourself. I've kind of been in the mood for fucking someone up in person, but it's just not happening. It's not happening. Anyways, let's continue. It is the Friday free for all. Get your questions into Mr. Uman, and Chin Music cuts in front of me and says this. CNN Dana Bash. I'm not too sure I like her name. She admitted the communist femocrats, or femocrats, that would be the feminist Democrat women, are after less testosterone-laden men, soy boys, low T. In other words, emasculated, weak, soft, dare I say, pussified men. Chin Music continues, says, who didn't already know this? Yeah, right. All the men for Kamala, they only qualify as men in the sense that they would fail an Olympic boxing gender identity test, but they would probably get their ass kicked by the women that actually are XX chromosome. So continuing with Chin Music here, he says, she just finally said the quiet part out loud. No one hears male Democrats fart. Oh, I tell you, folks, be prepared. Have a sense of humor. Be flexible mentally. But know that these are the enemy. That's right. The silent farting flaggots of Kamalaville. That's right. That's who they are. That is exactly who they are. But yeah, CNN revealed they tried to appeal to the metrosexual and low T crowd, along with the twinkle toes types, the skinny jeans types, the light in the loafer types. Crazy world, crazy world. Thank you, Mr. Chin Music. I hope you show up Sunday. I'm feeling a bit randy. I think I got a new bottle of scotch, and because we had such a big week the other week, I picked up a large bottle of Kraken coffee flavored rum for my coffee, but for also for you guys, anyone who wants to punish me with that. I just got a message from someone who says, currently on my second IPA, and I understand being fried. All right. Thank you, Addie, wherever you're at on that one. So in Georgia, folks, they're trying to trick us. Be prepared. Get this. That piece of shit north of here, Georgia, the rhino governor there, Brian Kemp, sack of shit, Brian Kemp, and his sack of shit Secretary of State, what was his name? Rat Spermer. Well, he still hasn't come on board. He's the one that recorded his phone call with Trump, President Trump, which was then taken out of context and used to smear Trump. That's our Georgians. That's our Georgian rhino pieces of shit. Well, the governor, Brian Kemp there, finally vows to support Trump in his bid to win the White House. So Brian Kemp now, he wants Trump to be his buddy. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. I'll tell you what. Be careful what is happening. In my opinion, the Democrats are seeing their ship sinking. Oh, don't worry. They're going to continue to launch torpedoes and cheat like a motherfucker. But for now, they're going to try and be buddies with us. So Sean Hannity interviewed Kemp, and I'm not going to read that shit. But Kemp is now saying, we're gonna help out. So Donald Trump responded, as he should have, and he says, "Thank you, Brian Kemp, for all of your help and support in Georgia, where a win is so important to this, where the win is so important to the success of our party, and most importantly, our country. I look forward to working with you, your team, and all my friends in Georgia to help make America great again." That's what Trump wrote in response to Kemp. And I'm going to tell you this. I trust Kemp about as far as I can kick the motherfucker. Understand a couple of things. Kemp, if Trump is in the White House, will want Trump to support him in return. And I understand one hand washes the other. But Kemp will sabotage us again. He will backstab. He will shit all over Trump. He will try and ruin Trump. Fuck Kemp and the deep state. Be prepared for anything. Like I said, folks, I am not a partisan hack, a bullshitter. No. I care about you and me and our country. If Trump will protect it and the republic, good. Kemp, he's only doing this as a means of self-preservation. Because if Trump wins, Kemp would go against him. And I don't care if Kemp is done. If he can't run again, I don't care. It's all bullshit. He'll want his named replacement in there. I don't trust these people, folks. Don't trust them at all. What we need is people prosecuting cheaters, liars, thieves, and scum in politics, in business, in Wall Street, in the banks, etc. For example, I will now give someone a big bam. That's how you do it. The Secretary of State in the great state of Ohio is doing something. He is referring 597 non-citizens for prosecution because they have registered and they're voting illegally. That is what I want to see. That's what I want to hear. Who is prosecuting? Illegals, cheaters, thieves, government scumbags. We need more of that. Okay, Mr. Uman, who's up next? What do we want to talk about? We are, holy cow. We got a lot of time left, folks. We got Mikey G. And he says, did Nancy Pelosi drop her baggie of cocaine? Inquiring minds. What? You guys are funny. We talked about this yesterday. We talked about this yesterday, but it's coming up again today. You want to know why? Because yesterday when we were talking, you and I were ahead of the rest of the world. We saw what was happening, and today this type of stuff is making the rounds in other right-wing and mainstream media news sources. So once again, if you're here on the Prepared Mind, you're getting news faster than anyone else. Almost, right? We do our best to get it out quick. That's why I say join the preparedmind.club. Join subscribestar.com. It only costs $2 to be a premium member. You can be here live every day and get shit like hot off the presses, faster than anyone else that you can get it from. But if you're not, you'll get it a little bit later. That's okay. This is big news. Uman says, I'll bet it was a piss pad. Well, it looked like a little bag, but I guess it could have been well, I'm sure Nancy, since she's a big girl, and she drinks so much liquid to stay hydrated that she has to wear full size Depends. I bet she's got to depend on that because 90 proof Nancy. Yeah. Anyways, Uman continues and says, that would have been a hell of a bag of Coke. Besides, she has people to carry stuff like that. You know what, Uman? I'm going to argue with you, brother. I think Nancy does carry a big-ass bag of Coke like that. I bet she buys her friends that way, one snort at a time. Right? If she's got to dish out a line, that's a symbol of power in the Democrat Party. That's a symbol of power. Kind of like when I drove my F-350 truck, right? That was me driving my balls around. I wanted everyone to see how big my balls were. Anyways, when you're a Democrat, it's, well, I guess how much adrenochrome or cocaine you have. Anyways, always wanting to cause some consternation out here with my commentary. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Uman, for having some fun with me on that one. Let's get a little serious. I want to get serious with you guys. In fact, all of this content has a serious side And I try to bring in humor with you guys because it has to be entertaining and fun. Otherwise, we would all just, I don't know, kill ourselves, I guess, because the world is pretty depressing out there. So I try and make it lighthearted as much as I can. But this is a serious note. Russia's nuclear weapons doctrine threshold apparently is continuing to get lowered. In other words, it's going to become more easy for them to get to the point where they're like, you fucking asked for it. We've been warning you and you're pushing us. So the Russian Navy, which, as you probably are well aware, consists mostly of untersea boots, right? U-boats, submarines. So the Navy, the Russian Navy, is now training for a tactical nuclear attack on the rest of the world. Not in response to, but as a preemptive strike technique. Right? So strategically using their submarines as a means of deterrence is being swept aside for a potential offensive first strike attack with tactical nuclear weapons. It's huge World War III development, folks. Russia is not saying they're going to attack. Russia is just like, we are no longer defensive, deterrence. We're now going to start thinking about our submarines in terms of offensive maneuvers and using tactical nukes to take out our enemies. Look out, folks. It is coming. NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, in other words, the North American and European alliance that was established to counter Soviet Russia communism, NATO and DC keeps pushing Putin by using Zelensky, Voldemort Zelensky in Ukraine as their military puppet and their proxy war and army. They're pissing off the Russians intentionally. Folks, don't think it won't happen. The reason is because Putin has been warning NATO and Washington, D.C. for decades. Don't fuck with us. Don't come too close. Stay back. You don't want us putting nuclear bases and nuclear weapons in Mexico, in Cuba, off your shores and our submarines, do you? So why are you trying to do it to us? That's what Putin's argument is. Why are you trying to get close to us? Now, if Vladimir Putin invited me to dinner with him for a Prepared Mind interview, I would accept his offer. If Vladimir Putin said, John, we'd like you to move to Russia, I would decline his offer. Scary business over there, folks. I don't want to be a Russian, but I also don't want to be a puppet, pissant, peasant to the new globalist World Economic Forum dystopian nightmare they're trying to create for us. It's a very scary world. What do you think? Who's to blame? So Putin is a murderer and the Russians are evil, right? Well, what do you think Russia and the rest of the world thinks of Joe Biden and Ursula von der Leyen of the European Union, or the NATO shit sacks and the Pentagon pussies, right? No one else likes them either. They don't like them any more than they like Putin or Xi Jinping. But you know what they're probably doing, these other countries, these BRICS countries? They're looking around at who is thriving and who is suffering, who is doing better and who is declining. And they're seeing the West decline, especially since the West, meaning the United States of America, Canada, Europe, England, they're inviting in third world shithole trash. You know, we call them illegal immigrants. We call them illegal criminal invaders. But the governments are allowing them in to destroy us from the inside. The rest of the world is like, are you fucking stupid? The answer is no, they're not stupid. Washington, D.C., the European Union, they know exactly what they're doing, and they're doing it intentionally. They're inviting our destruction. At the same time, they're pushing for nuclear war with Russia. Crazy shit. All right, Mr. Uman, I know there's more stuff out there. I know it, and it's name redacted. And he says, today's mobile clinic is the modern German cattle car train. The mobile clinic, meaning the mobile abortion, and I think they're also doing vasectomies. Now, I think all Democrats should get spayed and neutered. Right? Most of them are cats or dogs anyways, right? Or in Twinkle Toes Timmy's case, he thinks he's a horse. What a fuckhead. Anyways, yeah, the German cattle car train. You know, the Holocaust are out there. The Russians have their story of what happened on the moon, what happened in World War II. The cars, those are whether they went to be executed at the German concentration camps or whether they just went to the German concentration camps to be worked to death. Either way, cattle cars are no good. But that being said, the Democrats are the party of death and destruction. They are. They're a death cult. They are. I'm surprised they don't have a mobile clinic for gender transformation on children. Bring your kids. It's okay. It's the Kamala car. Come on aboard. We'll make sure that we diagnose you as another gender than the one you were born with. And we'll even give you drugs, I'm sure the Democrats would love to say, that'll make you feel good and happy. Holy shit, folks. What a world. Okay, thank you, name redacted. Let's continue if we shall. This is really big news, really big news. The federal chairman, that is the chairman of the Federal Reserve Banking Corporation. It is Federal Reserve, folks, is not federal. It's no more federal than Federal Express. The Federal Reserve is a private banking cartel that loans money to the United States government that the government then goes out and spends. Why doesn't the government ask me? I'll create a printing press. In fact, we don't even have a printing press anymore. I've got a computer and a keyboard. I will fully lend you bullshit fake digital dollars that you put into your computer, government, and then claim that you have money. They make money out of fresh air. It's called printing. But most of it's electronic printing. Anyways, the federal chair, they collect interest on fresh air that they loan to the government. The Federal Reserve has announced, finally, it's here. The Powell pivot has happened. There is going to be a rate cut on the interest rates. That's right. And the media is reporting it as, well, that's going to boost Kamala Harris because they're going to lower interest rates. Well, that's not going to help you, America. It is basically, this is feel-good news for Democrats. Because if you own a house that you've recently financed, you're not going to get a new loan. It's not like you have an adjustable rate mortgage and they're going to actually lower your interest rates. Not going to happen. You're going to have to refinance your house, which you're going to have to pay closing fees and points on and other things just to do it. It'll cost you several $1,000s just to refinance if you're even allowed. Now, who this is going to help, though, is the banks. It's going to help wealthy investors in Wall Street because they're going to say, hey, easy money's back. Easy money's back. And so they're going to start throwing money in the market. In fact, today had quite a good turnout at the Wall Street game. Not so bad, right? But whether folks, it's Trump or Kamala, we are going to see money printing coming. The damage to the economy has happened. We're coming down. Money printing, stock market volatility, stock market craziness. We will see more inflation, whether Trump wins the election or not. It is all baked in the cake after decades now of fucking around with the interest rates and how much deficit spending we do. Currently, folks, the Biden regime is chalking up $1 trillion every 100 days in debt. The debt means over and above the money they collect in taxes. Think about it. If you made $1 million and you borrowed $1,000,001, you would only be $1 in debt. So the government spends trillions of dollars, but it only makes this much, but they borrow that much. So they're going into debt about $3.5 trillion a year at the current rate. When Trump takes over, this is my prediction. When Trump takes over, if he wins, and I pray he wins, if Trump wins, he's going to do some things that are going to benefit you and I. He's going to lower taxes. He's going to encourage them to continue to lower the interest rates, which punishes savers. It punishes wealth because it creates inflation. So we're going to continue to have inflation with Trump. Trump is also a big deficit spender. Unfortunately, I would like to see a balanced budget. I would like to see the federal government living within its fucking means, the same way you and I have to. And if we live outside our means, we go into debt with credit cards and loans, then guess what? We have a hard time paying off that interest, and it hurts us. Folks, in other words, we're going to have the 1970s all over again. Plus, the United States of America has communists all over the government. Elected officials, judges, the military, and oh yes, all the bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. Lots of communists everywhere. They're going to drive this economy into the toilet. Prove me wrong. Does someone have an opinion to the contrary? I'd love to hear the argument. What's terrible is we want to save the country, but the way they're going to go about doing it is using the same old model that got us here in the first place. The Keynesian economic model has been a failure, folks, since it was first employed. Believe it or not. Do you think there's a reason why the government won't pass a balanced budget amendment? Because they don't want to be accountable. They don't want to get blamed for hard times. But even with government deficit spending, even with low interest rates, we can go into a massive tailspin of a recession. Are you prepared? Now you take that massive recession / depression that's coming and you add to it, well, Antifa, BLM, communists, and terrorists. We've got a recipe for disaster that'll make the 70s look like the roaring 20s. Anyways, that's just my opinion. Do your own research. Do your own research. Any way you want, folks, research or not, the interest rates are coming down and the trouble is coming to you. All right, Mr. Uman, I know you've got great opinions on the economy, the markets, etc. But instead of listening to Uman, we're going to listen to Badass Diving Frog. And he says, John, I saw some footage from the Democrat National Convention. And the arena was pretty full. Oh, yeah, they've got people filling it up now nicely, filling it nicely. Was that CGI, or were there many jackasses in one place, that many jackasses in one place at that time? And does Nancy have white line fever? Now, that's a two-part question. I'm going to have to charge you extra nothing for being on the preparedmind.club. That's right. If you're on the preparedmind.club as a $2 a month premium member, you can ask questions for free. Anyways, I'm having some fun with you. Diving Frog. There can be that many jackass Democrats in one place at one time. Are the crowds CGI? To be honest, I haven't been looking for that again. It hasn't been part of my, shall we say, attention. It's possible, but I haven't looked. I've seen that arena with speakers on the stage, very sparsely populated. I've also noticed that they've turned down the lights. Now, that may be part of every convention that's done. It's just part of the way it goes, but they've turned down the lights so that you can't see. I've seen shots, folks. I just haven't looked into it. They can pay people, and that's what they've been doing. Maybe the attendees, political officials, have been inviting and telling and ordering their staffers, you will show up. They're desperate, but maybe they have finally got them in there. Who knows? Now, as far as Nancy, and the other thing is, Diving Frog, is who gives a fuck about the DNC's attendance? They're going to continue to show us that they're liars, bullshitters, they're full of shit, they're evil, they're deadly, they're awful, they're terrible. But I think part of the trick was initially they couldn't find people with driver's licenses to so they could get in. They couldn't get past the wall. They couldn't get in with him. The DNC are racist, by the way. They are. They're racist. The Democrats are the party of racism. The initial Ku Klux Klan members were all Democrats. That's right. The Democrats filibustered the civil rights movement legislation, the equal rights legislation, the Martin Luther King Jr. movement and legislation that came out. That's right. The Democrats were the ones who opposed it, refused to vote on it, tried stalling it. Democrats. Now, Nancy and her white lying fever. I can't say, folks, I just don't get invited to those parties. I don't, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Remember who else is backstage? Bill Clinton and Hillary. And what does Bill Clinton have to do with cocaine? Folks, I pray you have not forgotten that the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, was moving cocaine through the Mena, Arkansas airport while Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas back in the 1980s into the early 1990s. And it was well known, well understood. And in fact, the National Press Corps directly asked Bill Clinton questions about Mena and cocaine. And it was almost as if Bill didn't think anything of it and responded to the affirmative about who was doing what, where, when, and with how much white powder. Right? So the devil's dandruff wouldn't surprise me if it didn't make a huge appearance at the DNC backstage. Remember Hillary Clinton in 2016? She kept doing that, oh, with her fucking eyes busting out of her head. Was she on speedballs? Was she freebasing? Was she having a little fun with Frosty the Snowman's magical white semen? I don't know. It's hard to say. But I wouldn't put it past them, folks. And I certainly do enjoy making jokes about it. Crazy stuff. Wow. Okay, Uman, what do you got? Who's up next? Let's have some more fun. And Uman has some news I haven't covered yet. RFK Jr., the real RFK, is dead. Just like General Francisco Francisco is still dead. RFK Jr. is suspending his campaign, and he's endorsing Trump. I find this to be fascinating. RFK, I don't like. I don't like him. He says a lot of good things about the dangers, ills, and evils of all vaccines, including the Jim Jones juice. But beyond that, I'm not an RFK fan. I'm just not. But he is suspending his campaign, and he is endorsing President Trump. Why is that good for us? Let me tell you why. Let me count the ways. This is going to piss off the Democrats at the DNC at their convention. RFK is going to tell his crowd, is mostly moderate Democrats, vote for Trump, right? Vote for Trump. So the DNC will now attack RFK and shit all over him some more, which will show the whole world that they're just basically haters, that they're not willing to play fair. It's good stuff. But RFK and his supporters, well, he's been campaigning, folks. He's suspended his campaign, but he's been campaigning and getting support, and he's just going to hand that off to Trump. Kind of like, well, Taylor Swift was out there pushing her left-wing communist bilge, but the Swifties for Trump, now that they have a designation, Swifties, as kind of a political pseudo party, well, the Swifties are going to grab votes and steal them back. I think it's funny as fuck. Uman says that RFK is probably helping Trump, but he's not crazy about the prospect of him being part of Trump's cabinet. I'm not either. I do not think that RFK can be trusted, just like I don't think Tulsi Gabbard can be trusted. I don't want to see Tulsi in a bathing suit, and I don't want to see RFK in a bathing suit. I don't care how good they look in a bathing suit. And I'm not saying RFK looks good in a bathing suit. I'm just saying I don't care. I don't trust them. Right? If I can't trust a rhino Republican, why should I trust a waffling, wavering Democrat? I don't care if they are actually pro-America, pro-flag, pro-Constitution. I don't trust them because all it takes is a flip and they'll be right back stabbing Trump in the back. I don't know how to utilize Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. to the benefit of America, other than to tell them, look, if you love America, go out and tell America that the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, our founding documents, should be valued and supported at all costs, because without them, we don't have an America. I think that's a good start. Now, Uman says, one creator I listened to today said he should make RFK Director of National Security so he can have access to the Kennedy files. Now, that would be priceless. Well, the National Security, right, Director of National Security, that's one. The other one that's been floated is that RFK Jr. should be made Director of the Central Intelligence Agency. That would be interesting. Once again, for the same reason, so he can have access to the Kennedy files. Now, understand this, that the Director of the Central Intelligence Agency can be changed the same as you and I can change our underwear. It's a quick decision. It's done in seconds. Now, knowing that, the established deep state in both the National Security Agency, the NSA, and the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, the DHS, all of those leadership positions, while filled by deep state operatives, if they had the position, right, of a Trump appointee in there, they can stonewall them. The deep state hates anyone that doesn't suck up to them. They were more than happy to have Bill Barr, Jeff Sessions. They're more than happy to have them in there because they were controlled. They had control files on them. They did. It would be interesting, though, to see how this shakes out. Will Trump, this is the question, if and when elected to be the 47th president of the United States of America, preserving our republic for at least a little while, will he be wise and see these rhinos and Democrats for who and what they are? A bunch of fucking sellouts. Will Trump magically, miraculously, intelligently fire people when they fuck up? Right? That's what he was famous for prior to his 2016 to 2020 presidential fun times. When someone's fucking up, you fire them. You give them directions. You give them instructions. You tell them what you want. You're the commander-in-chief. You're the president of the United States. Do what I say, and if not, you're fired. Just like that. We don't have time to play fuck around. We don't have time to wait on maggot Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, to impeach Biden. They're bureaucrats. They're elected dickheads. They're not going to do their jobs. We need an executive in charge of the corporation. That's right. The United States government in Washington, D.C. is a corporation. We need an executive in charge of that corporation that get shit done. Stop playing fucking games. But yeah, it'd be priceless if Trump gave RFK specific direction. You will be the director of the CIA. You will go down day one, get the CIA files on your dad and your uncle's assassinations, and you will bring them to me in the Oval Office, and we will make them public. Now, if RFK does that, cool. If he doesn't, you're fired. All right, let's move on. I guess I don't get a turn again. Okay, Badass Diving Frog says, a week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland. A week before Kennedy shot, he was in Maryland, Monroe. There's a lot of it. There's actually some incredible coincidences. And maybe if Uman reminds me and Jolene reminds me, they'll send me the Lincoln and Kennedy coincidences. Like, I think, for example, Lincoln was in the Kennedy Theater and Kennedy was in a Lincoln when they both got right. Lincoln was in, was it the Kennedy? No, Ford Theater. Ford Lincoln Mercury. Lincoln was in Ford Theater and Kennedy got shot in a Lincoln, which is made by Ford. There's like a dozen of those where it goes back and forth. Lincoln, Ford, Lincoln, Kennedy, Lincoln, Kennedy. Anyways, thank you for the humor, Badass Diving Frog. I appreciate it. Now let's do this. The Michigan Bureau of Elections has launched an investigation into the Trump campaign held at the sheriff's office. Well, it wasn't a campaign event, but that's what they're claiming. Funny how the Michigan Bureau of Elections won't look into their own illegal, criminal election system. They won't look into it. They won't look into what happened in 2020. How many cities, how many counties, how many voting districts had more votes than fucking people registered to vote? How many of them had improperly filled out ballots, unsigned, unverified, undocumented? Oh, shit. Here we go. Uman just sent me the Y-Files coverage of the JFK Lincoln coincidences. And I don't have his permission to play it on this channel. But if I put it up here, first I have to deal with commercials. And anyways, I'll watch it. I'll watch it after, you know. Both were elected to Congress in 46. Lincoln in 1846 and JFK in 1946. The list will go on and on. Man, we should all watch that. Man, can you put that link up on the screen? We've got 7 minutes left in the show. 6 minutes left in the show. If you can copy and paste that and put it on the screen, I think it'd be worthwhile. Plus, I like the Y-Files. Even though they don't pay me, they don't give me any scotch, they don't give me any love, but still.
Would you kindly fetch my tinfoil hat?
Oh, tinfoil hat. Sorry, Mr. Fish, Mr. Hecklefish. There. Now he's got his tinfoil hat. There we go.
Fear the crab cat. Fear the crab cat.
Fear the crab cat. Thank you, Hecklefish. Anyways, yeah, it's incredible. These coincidences, very entertaining. But the Michigan Bureau of Elections is now going to investigate Trump and say that what he did was illegal and what the sheriff's office did was illegal. Folks, if and when they can stop, they being the mainstream media, if they can remove Trump, you and I are going to be next. I'm glad they're going after Trump. I want them to go after Trump. I want Trump to fight them and beat them. You see, they're once again using lawfare. Right? They tried using the courts down in Atlanta. That asshole Jack Smith, the unlawfully, illegally hired, unconstitutional prosecutor, private citizen. That makes good sense. Thank you, man. who was hired by Merrick the Butlick Garland, Attorney General for the United States government, illegally hired Jack Smith, who then tried to prosecute Trump for crimes in one state by going after him in another. He's a sack of shit. They're going to do everything they can to stop Trump. But when they're done, folks, if they can kill Trump in an assassination, if they can cheat him out of the presidency again, they will not stop at destroying Trump, and they will not stop at destroying you and me. We're next. We're next. Look out. Pray that Trump wins, folks, so he can keep taking arrows for us. Now, speaking of that, speaking of idiots, the fake Native American, the fake Indian Elizabeth Warren, lying Hontus, she got in some trouble on CNBC. That's right, folks. Even the mainstream sack of shit media, CNBC, has had enough of the bullshit. Elizabeth Warren was defending Kamala Harris's Soviet-style price control crap. Folks, even the retarded mainstream media knows that the levels of SHTF economically, monetarily, socially will reach new heights if we get Kamala-style communist bullshit here. My recommendation to you, get active. Get involved with your local voting. Get out the vote. Canvass the area. Work on election day at the polling place. Get involved, please, folks. I mean, seriously, when they're so far off the fucking rails, even the mainstream media can look at the history books and go, price controls don't work. They fuck things up. Even Richard Nixon tried it in the 1970s. He tried price controls. We immediately ended up with supply chain issues. If you tell a farmer you're going to sell corn at $10 a bushel, but it costs him 12, he's going to go, you know what? Fuck you. I ain't raising it. I won't grow corn. That's it. He's done. He's done. Anyways, yeah, it's coming, folks. Anyways, yeah, look up the Y-Files thing for that. That's some fun stuff. I think we got time for maybe one or two more. But if not, actually, I like to do the end of the day, end of the week. What the hell has happened at the last second? Let's do that. Let's do that. Unless Uman has something so amazing that we have to get to it. We could add some more amazing shit. Oh, here it is. Are you ready for this, folks? Remember yesterday when I went off on the Secret Service and the FBI for being sacks of shit and lying again? Well, get this. The Secret Service, according to an article on, this one's on gatewaypundit.com, the Secret Service never picked up the radios that were provided by local law enforcement at Trump's Butler, I took a bullet through the fucking ear rally. That's right. Local law enforcement folks said, hey, Secret Service, here's radios so we can communicate with you guys. Never picked them up. Never did it. And here's another one. Don't forget, folks, never forget about what happened with Trump. Never forget about it, folks. Never, ever forget. And what happened? Secret Service headquarters ordered agents not to request additional manpower for Butler County. Don't get additional manpower. Don't pick up the radios. Don't do anything you're supposed to. Leave open areas where assassins can get up there on the roof and start shooting at the president. It's a fucking setup, folks. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. And India's Prime Minister, Modi, is pushing for peace in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia. Interesting. Other nations around the world want peace. They want this shit to stop. Well, it's the Friday free-for-all, folks. Shit ain't going to stop. They're going to keep pushing. chance favors the prepared mind. Are you ready for what's coming? I know I am. Get prepared. Help others get prepared. Share the internet address. I'll see you on Sunday Night Live at the Zoo, right here on the Prepared Mind channel, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday. I'll see you there.